had nothing left, and I pushed myself even more. And when that blood started rushing in me, when that was pumping in my brain and my body, or go out and lift weights, go out and push yourself and feel yourself have to force through whatever was your limitation before. When that gets inside you, that physical strength again, that sense of breaking through, every part of you starts to operate differently. Your body changes, so does your mind. What's the third key? Well, that third step is you got to get a role model that inspires you and really shows you the way. One of the biggest things that'll change you once you're mentally and physically strong is you need to believe. You need to not just have a sense of certainty, but you got to believe that there is a pathway to get to where you want to be. Whatever it is you want to change, whether it be your body, your mind, your emotions, your finances, your relationship, you need a role model. So, for example, last October, I realized I only had a few minutes to be on television. How do I get these people that think they've lost their nest egg and it'll never come back to not just think I'm being positive, but show them a real example? That's what a role model is, I should say. It's a real example. So I thought, well, the best example is just show them history. So at that time, they interviewed me and they said, well, many stocks have gone from $80 and in the last few months they're down to $8. And I said, well, let me tell you the good news and the bad news. Some of those $8 stocks are going to be $5 or $2 or $1. Many of them are going to go to 75 cents. And, people were hold back and saying, well, that's not very positive. I said, well, here's what's positive. If you study the patterns of history, if you look back to what happened in the 1930s, if you see what happened in the 1970s, during that time as well, when the market went through this huge crash in the Depression or in the 70s, there was a period of time not that long afterwards when there was this big growth. An $8 stock that went down to $1 or 75 cents didn't make it back to $80 right away. That took decades. But a 75-cent stock that had been $80 or 50 or 60 would go from 75 cents to $5 literally in a month or two or three. It's happened twice before. It's happened during the same pattern. There's a role model for this. That means you would go from 75 cents to $5. That's a 2,000% increase. That's a greater return than most investors will see over their entire lifetime, and it can happen in 2 or 3 months. You can make it back. Now, I said, but I don't know if now's the time to jump in. I just know that time is coming. You got to study it. And then, I told investors, look at Sir John Templeton. He had just passed away a few months before. I was fortunate enough to know him. If you don't know the name, he's one of the greatest investors in history. And he became an investor, a billionaire, I should say, by being an investor, and he started with $10,000. How do you do that? He did it because he believed you make all your money at times of maximum pessimism. That was his role model. In 1939, the Depression is going on, Hitler invades Poland, and he's in a place where all heck is breaking loose.